Welcome everybody to my top 10 anime list. My name is Jagh and today we're going to be going over my top 10 action/fantasy anime. I wasn't exactly sure how to categorize this list, so a couple of these aren't technically action anime, but they do all have action, so it counts. Number 10. Claymore. Claymore is set in a world where humans are hunted by demons called Yoma. As a countermeasure, a mysterious organization created half-human, half-Yoma warriors known as Claymores. The story is about a boy named Rocky who lost everything due to a Yoma attack and was saved by a Claymore named Claire. Together they travel and work towards Claire's goal. I didn't really care for the show when it started, mostly due to the odd character design, but it grew on me. It's a good story about revenge, which we all know I love revenge, but it's also about Rocky and Claire's relationship. Lots of action, lots of blood, lots of awesome. The only downside is that it's not finished, so if you want more, you gotta pick up the manga. Number 9. Haito Genso no Grimgar. The show's about a group of people that wake up in a strange land. With no memories except for their name, they have no other choice but to take the only job available to them, a soldier in the reserve army. The main characters are kinda like the B team, with all the stronger people grouping together. They have to learn to work together as a team in order to survive. I feel like the show is a little bit underrated, but that might just be in my head. It came out in January of this year, and it's pretty damn good. Seeing the characters grow and deal with hardships is one of the show's strongest points. The only complaint I have is that they keep explaining what the moves they use are and what they do. If you've never played an RPG before, then it might be pretty helpful for you, but a lot of the moves are pretty explanatory. Nevertheless, it's a good show, give it a watch. Number 8. Konosubarashi Sekai ni Shikufuku. Konosuba is about Kazuma, a high schooler that dies and is presented with a choice, either go to heaven or be reincarnated in a fantasy world. He chooses the obvious choice and is reincarnated and is tasked with defeating a demon king. Unfortunately, it turns out that living in such a world is far different than a game. Together with a useless goddess named Aqua, the duo must work to pay for living expenses before going on an adventure. Just want to start by saying that for being a Japanese word, they don't seem to understand how to use the word NEET. NEET stands for not in education, employment, or training. Kazuma, while not going to school often, is still technically in school. Now I have that little rant out of the way, let's talk about the show. It's a little ecchi with some harem elements. There's a lot of comedy and lots of ridiculous situations. It's one of those that isn't technically action, but again, there's action in it. It's only 10 episodes, with a second season coming out in January of 2017, so only a couple months away. Really enjoyable, definitely worth a watch, which is stupid to say because this whole list is, but whatever. Number 7. Dhemaji. Not even going to try to say the full title. Dhemaji is set in the city of Orario, where a huge underground labyrinth known as the Dungeon attracts all sorts of adventurers. People join guild-like groups known as Familia that are headed by gods from varying mythos like Greek or Norse. The story is about Belcornell, a newbie adventurer who becomes the first member of Hestia's Familia and now strives to become the best adventurer. This is a very popular show, so you've probably heard of it, but if not, well, now you have. It's a fairly short show with only 13 episodes and still no word on a second season, however there is an OVA coming out in December. It's great if you like fantasy shows with RPG aspects like stats and stuff, plus the different mythos is a pretty neat addition that I always love. Bell does start off kinda weak, but he quickly becomes a badass, and plus it has everybody's favorite goddess. Number 6. Overlord. Overlord is about a guy that ends up trapped inside a popular MMO when the servers are shut down. He takes on the persona of his character, Momonga, a powerful wizard and master of the Dark Guild Ainz Ul Gaun. Due to this abnormal situation, Momonga commands his loyal servants to help him investigate and take control of the world, with hopes of finding out the cause of his current situation. Now let me ask you, do you like badass overpowered characters? Like, insanely overpowered? Like, Kobe Bryant going up against an elementary schooler overpowered? How about sexy girls that are slight necrophiliacs? Then look no further. This is just the show for you. It's a cool story, and the fact that the main character is kind of an anti-hero is a nice addition. Unfortunately, there are only 13 episodes and no word on Season 2, but it just finished airing last year, so there's still hope. Number 5. Log Horizon. Like Overlord, Log Horizon is about people getting stuck in a video game. However, in this case, it's not just one person, it's 30,000 people in the Japan server alone. The main character is a legendary strategist named Shiro. Now he must learn to live in this new world, leading others in negotiating with the NPC natives in order to bring stability to the virtual city of Akihabara. This is a smarter anime where the main character's strength lies not in his actual physical strength, but more in his intelligence. People often call the getting trapped in a game trope overdone, but I can only think of 4, and 2 of them are on this list. The first season is really good, and despite all the hate, I like the second season a lot too. It's a little darker, and the ending of the second season is a little cliche, but it surprised me, and I'm really interested in what will happen next. Number 4. Berserk. The cult classic and highest rated manga on Mail. Berserk is about a young mercenary known as Guts. After running with a mercenary group known as the Band of the Hawk, Guts is recruited by their leader Griffith. As the quest for recognition continues, Guts starts to question what he wants to do in life. Okay, so I kinda made it sound like it's a slice of life anime set in high school, but it's nothing like that. It's in a medieval-esque world that is dark and gritty. The show came out in the late 90s, and to be fully honest, the art and animation is pretty subpar, even for its time, and the ending is pretty bad. But it's still a great show, and definitely a show that every anime fan should see, assuming that you're old enough, because there's lots of dark elements. And if you dislike the art, you can always watch the 3-part movie made in 2012. It introduces an important character and has an ending that actually gives some clarity, and leads into the second season. The second season just came out, and the next arc is set to air in April 2017. Despite the hate, I actually liked the second season. The art takes some time to get used to, but it's actually pretty decent at times. Number 3. Nanatsu no Taizai. Set in a world similar to medieval Europe, the revered holy knights have staged a coup d'etat and become the rulers of Linus, I don't care. Technically, the story is about Elizabeth, the third person of Linus, and her quest to find the 7 deadly sins, a legendary group of holy knights with a high bounty on their heads, in order to stop the holy knights. But in reality, the show is about Meliodas, the leader of the 7 deadly sins. Okay, reasons to watch the show. 1. Badass characters. 2. Badass fights. 3. An excellent use of ecchi. 4. The main character is voiced by the awesome Kaji Yuki. If that doesn't convince you, I don't know what will. It's a fun, lighthearted story full of action and adventure, and recently 4 episodes came out to sort of fix the ending and lead up into the second season, which will hopefully come out at some point. Number 2. Rei Zero Kara Hajimeru Isekai Sekatsu. Re:Zero is about Natsuki Subaru, after leaving a convenience store, he's suddenly standing in a bustling medieval city, full of dragon-drawn carriages and people of different humanoid races. After getting his ass kicked by some thugs, he's saved by a beautiful half-elf named Satella. One day, he starts to look for her stolen insignia with her and ends up being killed, only to wake up in front of everybody's favorite apple seller. After getting killed a couple times, he realizes he has the power to return from death. Alright, let the circle jerk for Re:Zero continue! And I know, it's technically Re:Zero, but I like saying Re:Zero. So this is one of those shows that isn't technically action. There's a good amount of action, it's just not the focus point. The show is fantastic. I love the art, the characters, the plots. The main character starts off as useless and is still somewhat useless. It's a hell of a lot better. The characters actually have growth. There's a point that actually made me wonder, oh shit, how is this going to play out? While most of the show is spent building up Subaru's character and not so much of the others, I don't really think it's necessarily a bad thing. This is one of, if not the most popular show of 2016, so I feel like it will definitely get a sequel. So characters like Amelia, who's had a little character to growth, can actually shine. And from what I've heard, she really grows in the later arc. And then of course, there's always everyone's beloved Rem. And finally, number 1, Gate Jiatai Kenochi Nite Kaku Tatakairi. Gate is about a gate appearing in Japan. From it comes goblins, ogres, armed soldiers, and Romanesque armor charging through the city, killing everyone in their path. Off-duty JSDF officer, which is the Japan Special Defense Force, FYI, Itami Yuji helps to save as many lives as he can while the JSDF focuses on stopping the attack. 3 months later, a task force is sent through the gate. Itami is put in charge of a recon team and must travel to the unknown world in order to learn more about what they're dealing with and to befriend the locals in hopes of creating peaceful ties with the ruling empire. I love this show so goddamn much. It takes 2 of my favorite things, fantasy and modern military, and combines them into awesomeness. There are some harem elements which I love, but it might not be for everyone, but it's not really that big of a focus. My only gripe about the show is that it makes the US look pretty bad. But that's about it. But it also makes other countries look bad and even its own legislative branch, so I can't really complain that much. Despite having warrior bunnies and cat people and elves, it feels really real. The way they handle military stuff just feels spot on. And it's because the writer is actually a JSDF veteran. So, if you ever wondered what would happen if a small modern army went up against a large Roman army, this show is your answer. There's 24 episodes, and goddamn, I hope we get more. I just love it. It's amazing. So there you have it, my top 10 action/fantasy anime. Hopefully this made you want to watch some of these and maybe even introduced you to a new series. But as always, let me know if you agree, disagree, maybe leave your top 10 in the comments below, and I'll see you whenever I make my next video.